The area set aside for day 2 of the South African Championships was from Greenboard to Brunnerveen Bunkies towards Cape Agulhas. This area included a section of beach and then a section of rock on the southern end. So just to recap day 1's points, Eden was in first place with 468 points, Border second with 446 points, KwaZulu-Natal third with 425.01 points, Boland in fourth place with 369, and Zululand was fifth on 343 points.
Well, essentially any good manager should understand his anglers. He should know the capability of what they can and what they can't do. And there's very few anglers that you have out there that can do pretty much everything. Those guys that can do everything are pretty much the guys that are going to end up in a Springbok team one day. So you have a strategy depending on the area that you're going to fish and the kind of conditions that you're going to be fishing in. So for example, we've got an area which is actually bridging a gap between a beach, so it's half beach and it's half rock. And down here at Straits Bay, the type of species that you're going to catch on the rock are pretty much resident species for the whole. So it will be stuff like spotted gully sharks, hound sharks, and maybe a raggy or two. But being quite big fish, they sort of, you could consider them to be bonus fish. So one has to cover the hot spots in the rocks for those particular species. One must bear in mind that when fishing in the rocks, the conditions don't change that much because the rocks are pretty static. So if there's a hole and a place to fish, it'll stay there, no matter what. So if you've got a place like Deerloop Klip and it's a good spot and it's been a good spot for the last 20 years, it continues to be a good spot. So you'll pick that spot and you'll say that spot needs to be covered, and you'll select one of your anglers who's good on the rocks, who's strong, who can fight the waves and who can pull big fish, and you'll put him on that position. Then the rest of your anglers will be placed, and in this situation where there hasn't been a lot of big fish on the surf, we'll more than likely place them to catch smaller fish, the small sand sharks, which are really, there's a lot of them at the moment on this coastline, and they will sort of, we refer to it as the engine room, and they'll just keep the board ticking. And then hopefully you'll be able to catch up with a couple of big fish. The guys on the beach, they need to be fit, they need to be fast, they need to be organized so that they can catch numbers. The guys on the rocks, they just need to know how to catch big fish.
Well, we started off the morning by sitting at the Lass. The Lass is an area which is known for producing big fish, big duckbill, big black paleys, sometimes a raggy or big bronzy as well. And we joined AJ de Beer from Southern Cape targeting one of these big species. Alright, well, South African Championships aren't always just about joys. AJ targeted a specific species, get those big black paleys here, put the bait in the right area, did everything right, and we think he hooked that fish, but unfortunately it cut off. So that's a sad part of the sport. It was a good fish, it could have been a winning fish for the tournament, but as part of the game, he's going to put another bait and try again.
Angling is not only about catching the fish, it's a mental game. If you're not mentally prepared, you out of it. So you must be mentally strong. Everybody's fit, everybody's practice, or they tackle, everybody's up to scratch with the tackle. But when it comes to the mental capability, you've got to be very strong in the sport. It's extremely important.
Alright guys, well that's just the class of AJ. His previous cast, he went on with a very good fish, got cut off, went back, got everything ready, got his head right again, casted, and he's on immediately with another very big fish. I guess it's a Paley, a black Paley, we hope so, but we'll watch it. He's pulling the fish very hard, he's on reef here, not giving him any chance. So let's hope he lands this fish and we can see what it is. Tournament when it comes to grabbing fish are as follow. Any angler or team member or management that's part of the tournament can assist you in landing big fish by grabbing the fish, not grabbing your line. Anyone who's not part of the tournament cannot touch anything. They can't touch line, they can't touch fish. So you've got to be part of the tournament as an angler or within the management structure of a team to be able to go and land fish. Now generally management plays a very big role in grabbing fish. You don't want to take one of the anglers out the game to go wait for 20 minutes, half an hour to help land a big fish. So that's where management comes in, and Richard Lesch was one of the managers for the Southern Cape or the Eden side, and he was in the water assisting AJ to land his black Paley. Well, as an angler, if you start the day off by landing a bonus fish, it's such a psychological boost because you know you're so far ahead of all the other anglers in the field, and that makes the rest of your day and even your tournament a bit easier than the rest of the anglers because you know you've got this buffer. So now you can do one or two things. You can either just keep on ticking the board over for the day, so go to an area where there's a lot of small fish, you've got a big lead, keep on ticking it over, or you can decide to stay there and try and catch another bonus fish. So you can stand there for hours on one bait waiting for another bonus fish. Either way, you're still going to do well for the day. Well, after AJ landed his fish, we headed off to the beach to go see what's happening there and what the guys are catching. We got to the beach, we realized there was a bit of a scratch going on, a lot of lesser sand sharks coming out, and once again, it's very important for all the teams to have anglers within those little smashes just to keep the board ticking and rack up those points on the smaller fish. Right, well, so the morning started very nice for AJ. He got that nice big black Paley. While he was fighting the Paley, Wimpie from Boerland managed to land a nice raggy of 180 odd kilos. And then we also heard of a few diamonds a bit further north towards the Polkies. So we at that sort of 10 o'clock time of the morning now, dead low, and that's generally a little bit quiet then. So that in the next hour that tide's going to start pushing. They're predicting a strong west to come through, and that might just change the whole game. So we're going to hang around here a little bit, see what's going to happen with the push of the tide and the west coming through, and hopefully get a bit of action. When fishing for these small fish, it might seem pointless targeting small fish for the day, but every single fish counts. And often on the last day or at the prize giving when those points get read out, it's like 0.5 or 0.6 of a kilogram between the points. So those little fish are very important, and every single one counts. early in the morning, Wimpie from Boland got a very nice raggy of 212 centimeters. Well, obviously that placed him ahead of the rest of the group for the day, and his strategy stayed the same. He made big baits and just kept on throwing big baits looking for another bonus fish.
Heel moontlik 'n dakkie. Maar kan 'n diamond ook wees. Kombinasie van makreelkoppie met 'n lekker stuk chokka by. Werk altyd smart hier op die kus. Manne, dis niks.
Alright, well, we got Wimpie here again from Boland. He was an angler, got that nice big raggy this morning, first throw. So he had the advantage, we could actually stand on a big bait and wait for another big fish. And it's just about close to 12 o'clock now. His efforts paid off and he's on to another decent fish here, and we'll see now what he's going to land. Well, Wimpie landed this nice little duckbill. I guess at 35 odd kilos, maybe a bit bigger. So a very nice fish. It's the first one today I know of, so I'm sure he's a happy angler. I think Wimpie must have been so excited knowing he's got 2 bonus fish in the bag for the day, and that brought his whole ranking right up to the top. And he knew he just had to catch some fish for the rest of the tournament, and he had a very good chance of ending up in the top 10. Well, as the day progressed within this area on the beach, the shallow sandbank where the guys got the lesser sand sharks and the shad started filling up. And the duckbill obviously decided to come onto these banks and feed. And for the later part of the day, towards the end of the day, quite a few nice duckbill were caught on these sandbanks.
Wimpie Barnard, heading north, all the way from Pretoria.
And what's going on here, Wimpie?
I think it's a diamond, but I'm fishing with a double hook trace, which is not very strong, so I'm taking it slowly.
Right, so we've got Wimpie Barnard here. Often what happens at nationals while we're fishing for the lesser sand sharks and smaller fish, the odd duckbill or diamond will jump onto that small bait, and you're fishing quite light. And exactly what happened to Wimpie now. He's fishing for lesser sand sharks, hooked into a better fish. So now it's a patience game. You can't pull that fish hard. You're fishing very light, smaller hooks. So you're just going to nurse the fish and take it out down the beach. as an angler, when you're scratching, you're obviously fishing lighter. Your traces are lighter, your hook is smaller, you're fishing with lighter gear. So if you hook a big fish in that situation, you cannot force it. So you've got to loosen your drag, become very patient very quickly, take your time, and you're going to fight this fish much longer than you should fight it. But the main idea is to get that fish on the beach. And that's exactly what Wimpie did. He slackened off on his drag, he took his time, took him a while, but he ended up landing a very nice duckbill. Well, Wimpie was very happy to land that nice fish, and he was just excited to have those extra points on the board. Well, the fish seemed to be coming onto the bite with the pushing tide, and Matthew Sumner from Eden also hooked into a very nice fish. Well, generally within a tournament, in each day, there's a small period, it could be an hour, half an hour, or 2 hours, where the fish come on the bite. Now, as an angler, you've got to capitalize on that moment, and that's where your good, strong, mentally strong anglers come in. You go into a crowd, there's a lot of stuff happening, and you've really got to work very hard for that specific period of time, because you know it's not going to last. As soon as the tide changes or fills up too much, those fish are going to disappear. So that's where your strong anglers will come in and really capitalize on that moment and catch as many good fish as I can within that period. Oh, we found JB Theron from Free State going tight to the fish, adding some well-deserved points to the team score. Well, deer van Tesmer from Border also made use of this window where the fish were biting and adding some valuable points to his scorecard. Well, it seemed like there's quite a few bonus fish around within that period of time. Matthew Sumner got another bait back into the water quickly and hooked into another bonus fish. Once again, with management playing such a big role in this tournament, when they see an area where the fish suddenly come on, they've got to move in their anglers, which are obviously closest to them, to come and join in this smash, we call it, or activity where there's a lot of big fish. So as management, they start running around, finding the closest anglers from their team to come and join, and then their job doesn't end. Within that smash, they always stand or try and stand with their angler's weigh cards in their hands. If the angler comes in with a fish, they want to get that weigh card signed as fast as possible, get the fish measured and back in the water so his angler can be back in the water, and just capitalize on this sort of hour or two where the fish are really biting. As management, you get as excited as the anglers when the fish start biting and everything you've planned for the night before or days before actually works out. So although the management aren't fishing, they get as excited as the anglers when things work out and the plans they put in place all work out well.
We're trying our best today. It's been tough. We haven't really got into the bonus fish, but AJ did get a nice fish on the last. And we've been scratching away, but as you can see, it's paid off now and we'll keep going at it. It's been really good. Yeah, we're happy. We'll take 10 out of 10 for that.
Yes, we were nearing lines up. Tournament for the day was almost finished. It was a very good day. Some bonus fish were caught. A lot of anglers got good fish. And as we were about to pack up and go enjoy an ice cold beer, we got a phone call from one of the weigh marshals, Uncle Brian, and he said there's an angler on at the Luss with a very good fish. We grabbed our gear and we headed off to go see what's happening.
I'm a marshal keeping an eye on everything, and we were at a place called Deer Loop over there, and we had 2 minutes to go before lines in, and we saw one of the rods go down here, and as I came around here, this Free State guy was into a big fish. It's now about let's see, it's almost three-quarters of an hour he's been fighting it, but it's about 50 meters from the beach, and we can see it's a big black pale stat. It's probably over 100 kilos.
Alright, so how it works with the SA Champs, if you hook a fish within the period of time, allocated time, you can still fight it after hours. And you got Anton van Eer from Free State. He actually lost a very good fish on the same spot the last this morning, and he just persisted the whole day. And just before lines up, he hooked into a very good fish. It looks like a black bailey, and he's just about to land it. We're going to see if we get it on camera. When you fish in a tournament like this, there's certain rules in place when line parts or hook pulls out of a fish's mouth. Now the rule is as follows: if myself as an angler is on with a big fish and the line parts, only the angler can go and grab that fish. So no other management or angler can grab a fish if your line parts or the hook pulls out of the fish's mouth. You as an angler need to drop your rod, run and grab the fish, and if you're lucky enough to get the fish, it still counts. But if anybody else grabs the fish, it's disqualified, it doesn't count. Well, the type of fish that Anton hooked there would have definitely placed him right in the top 10 and pushed his ranking right up. But it was so heartbreaking to see him lose the fish. Obviously his leader line just caught the rock and got nicked and broke. So very sad to see him lose the fish, and I'm sure Anton also didn't enjoy that moment. Alright, some other nice fish that they caught for the day was Luke Gronetsky from Border with a nice score of 87 centimeters. Few Herbs from Eastern Province got a bronze whaler shark of 127 centimeters, which was a nice fish for the day. Well, Willie de Jager from Zululand was a happy man to land a very nice diamond ray. Jacques Malherbe from Boerland got a very nice duckbill of 157 centimeters. Michael Basson from West Coast ended up catching a nice duckbill. Well, and then there's AJ de Beer again, just making a pig of himself, doing what he's good at, catching a nice duckbill. Right, so at the end of the day, the points changed a little bit, and the 5 top teams' points were as follow. In 5th place was West Coast on 656.66 points. In 4th place was KwaZulu-Natal on 806.54 points. 3rd, Boerland on 816.66. Border was still in 2nd on 841.30, and Eden was still lying first on 1006.59 points. Well, that was the end of day 2. It was a good day, some nice fish were caught. Unfortunately, the weather started turning, and I'm sure management saw it, and they had their work cut out to prepare for the last 2 days of the tournament.